Hey everybody, I'm here to vlog about cutting it in the ATL. Episode, season one episode. I think this is episode 4, 5, whatever. It was called Sex, Spies, and Anniversaries. So let's get into it. It starts off with Maya. She's at Pretty Hair and LaKenya visits. Um, LaKenya is just basically there to check on Maya, see how Maya's doing, and Maya feels like she could steer LaKenya in a better direction than Deidre. Like, she just wants to make sure that LaKenya will be able to deal with the aftermath, the wrath of Deidre if she decides to leave the Jadoa salon. So, Maya's just showing her the ropes, telling her about Pretty Hair, telling her about the business venture or whatever. And she talks to LaKenya about Beauty's invite to her 25th anniversary party, and she's like iffy on if she should go because of what Mushia told her about Beauty sending her client over there to basically spy on her. So she's iffy, and that's why Maya hasn't responded to Beauty's calls, texts, emails, whatever. She hasn't responded to her. So then we get to Deidre, and she has a friend named Fran who's visiting the salon to get her hair done. So Deidre tells her friend about the fight at Boogaloo with Beauty. And the thing that pissed me off the most about this conversation with her and her friend, she basically made it seem like she didn't provoke, she didn't do anything that caused the fight. She said that her and she said that Beauty was going on and on about the money that LaKenya owed her. And when she finally gave Beauty the money, Beauty reached over and grabbed, tried to hit her. And it's like, first of all, you didn't give Beauty the money, you threw it in her face. And that was disrespectful. And that's what caused the fight to start. Because you don't throw something at somebody. She could have gave it, the scenario could have went a bunch of other ways. She could have gave the money to Beauty, and that probably would have been the end all be all. Beauty probably would have taken it. Beauty probably would have been like, it's not about the money, it's about the disrespect. Like, that scenario could have went a ton of different ways if she wouldn't have threw that money at Beauty. Now, you throw money at somebody, you throw anything at somebody, that is grounds for you to get your ass whipped, because that's disrespectful. Like I said in my last vlog, that's equivalent to you spitting in somebody's face, and that's dead wrong. But Deidre never once, when she was talking about this fight, never once said, oh, I threw money at her, so that's how the fight started. She said, now that I finally give this heifer the dollars, she reaches over at the table and hits me. Yeah, I would have hit your ass too if you'd have threw money in my face. We would have been fighting on the floor if you'd have threw money in my face. And she basically saying, she just not taking blame for the fight. Just like LaKenya was saying. LaKenya was like, she wasn't taking blame for it. She felt bad for Deidre, but she wasn't taking the blame for it. She wasn't owning up to her part in the fight. She just basically making it seem like Beauty is crazy. I don't think Beauty would have came at Deidre if Deidre would have took a different approach to giving Beauty the money. So she's basically like, she hopes that this doesn't ruin her relationship with Maya, and she's going to email her and talk to her and let her know that she's sorry. And she feels like LaKenya is basically loyal in this whole thing. Like, LaKenya never, changed, never went behind Deidre's back or anything. Like, she didn't stab Deidre in the back. She feels like LaKenya is loyal through this whole thing, which I agree. And LaKenya is loyal to a fault. So now we get to Beauty, and she's with Mushia, and they're shopping for lingerie for Mushia's 10-year wedding anniversary. So they're looking at, different outfits and whatnot, joking around, laughing. And Beauty says, well, you've been married 10 years. This is my 25th anniversary of doing hair. So she invites Mushia. She gives Mushia the invite, but Mushia tells her, well, if you invite Maya. She was like, no. She said that she's trying to invite Maya, but Maya won't answer her calls. So she's like, Mushi is like, well, maybe Maya knows about the whole spy thing, and she's still upset about the fight at Boogaloo and all this other stuff. So Beauty is like, well, how does Maya know about the spy? And Mushia didn't. Mushia was like, well, don't worry about that. You just need to get back in good with her. But in her confessionals, Mushia was like laughing, like, well, if only you knew. I told Maya about you, Brigade. Oh my God, I was trying to hold that in, and I'm not even tired, so I don't even know why I'm yawning. But anyway, um, Mushia didn't admit to Beauty that she told Maya. She was just like, don't worry about that. Just worry about trying to get in touch with her so that you can invite her and whatnot. So Beauty is kind of skeptical. Like, well, I hope Mushia didn't say anything to Maya. And she's like, well, whatever we talked about should be kept between us. So I hope you didn't go back and tell her. So, Mushia still didn't admit it. Whatever. So now we get to Maya and she visits her husband, Dwan, and he's cooking or whatever. So they're discussing Beauty, and she's telling Dwan about how Beauty sent her client over to her or whatever. And she's like, well, you don't have to send a spy to my place. You can just ask me. I'm an open book. I don't have a problem telling you. But when you send a spy or whatever, I should be able to trust you. If we're gonna be in a business venture together, I should be able to trust you. It shouldn't be no secrets and you sending spies and all this other craziness. Like, I'm a grown woman. And I'm like, see, this is why since this season aired, Maya has been my girl. Because Maya is not about the pettiness. She just wants to make her money. And I'm all for it. And it's like, in my opinion, Maya is the type of woman that I like seeing on these type of shows. That's actually trying to get women together. Like, she's basically trying to empower these women and get them to all win together. And that's what I love about Maya. So, Beauty just, not Beauty, sorry. Maya just feels like, if there's no trust, then there's no point in doing business. So Dwan is like, well, maybe you should talk to Beauty and figure out why she did what she did. There was probably a reason behind it. So she just wants the ladies to all get together and get along and make money. But because Dwan is like, well, maybe you do need to talk to Beauty, she was like, okay, well, I wasn't sure if I was going to go to her anniversary party. Now I'm going to go. So, she's like, when she goes, she's going to talk to Beauty and just see what the reason was for her sending her client to do that. So now now we're with Mashia, and Mashia is at a recording studio, and she wants to record an anniversary song for her husband Lou, and she said that when they first met, he I think they were at the recording studio and they were drunk or something like that. Like, it was a crazy story. But I guess he likes her voice or whatever, so she said that since they're celebrating their 10-year anniversary, she wants to record him a song. So while she's recording it, she was like, well, men, they just need three things, from a woman. They need, for one, her to be a trophy, to look pretty, and to shut up when you need to shut up. Two, he needs a slut that's a slut in the bedroom. Like, you only get freaky with him or whatever. And three, he needs a friend because, who else can he talk to? Who else? This is somebody that's supposed to grow old with you. Somebody's supposed to love you unconditionally. And he needs somebody on his side that's his best friend. I agree. The trophy thing, I didn't really know how to feel about that. Like, as far as the trophy comment went, because I don't know a lot of men who like women, like, feel like, there are some men out there that like for women to be submissive, to be quiet, to only look good, and then, like, I don't know. People like what they like, and I could be taking it out of context, who knows. But, the whole trophy thing, I kind of get it, but I don't like it being called a trophy for the simple fact that, yeah, that's his lady, but do you really want all eyes on her like that? Like, sometimes that comes with a negative, perception or whatever. But I get what she's saying. And, she's basically, like I said earlier, she basically recording a song because Lou fell in love with her voice when they first met. So she figured it would be the best gift to give him for their 10 years of being married. And I also agree. And Mushia can sing. Mushia has a beautiful voice. But the song was, oh my God. But I'm like, that's something you only play for your husband. Like for him to hear it, whatever. So now we get to Deidre and LaKenya. And LaKenya is discussing the invite Beauty gave her for her 25th anniversary party. So Deidre feels like the whole invite is fake because she's like, how are you going to invite somebody that you keep talking about, you claim you don't like? How are you going to invite them to your party? Like, that's fake. And I'm like, well, Beauty and LaKenya had a moment after y'all got into the fight. And they hugged and everything. So Beauty just wants to be cordial. Like, she's taking a high road and being cordial and inviting her to the party. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, Deidre just lives off of anger and drama. Like, she is just a very bitter woman. And she disgusts me. Like, she really does. Like, I have yet to see her smile really on this show. Like, unless they cracking jokes. But it's like, you just... Anyway, they saying she feels like Deidre feels like Beauty is being a snake and feeling like the whole invite is a setup, and she feels like the girls are ostracizing her from the group. And my whole thing is, it's not about the girls ostracizing you, you're ostracizing yourself. Because every time one of these girls reach out to you and want to be mature and do business with you and do a meet and greet with you, you get stupid every single time. Every meet and greet they've had together, she got stupid. Every time they're together in anywhere, like when they were at the Pro Beauty Hair Show, she's heckling Beauty. When they were at the restaurant for the first time, Maya invited them all there to tell them about the business venture. She was acting stupid. When she invited them to the Boogaloo to get their problems out, she was stupid. So you sitting up here saying that they're ostracizing you. You act like you don't want to be friends with these women, and they try to be mature and talk to you, and you act like a little girl, like you're mad childish. So, and I don't like people who never see an error in their ways, and Deidre is that person. I really cannot stand her. But anyway. So now we get to Beauty. She's prepping for her party with her sister, and she's telling her sister how she's worried that Maya won't show up. And, her sister is like, well, hopefully she will, and the party can go on or whatever. So we get to Mushia and Lou, and they're at a restaurant celebrating their anniversary. And they feel like, their marriage is good because they were friends before anything. And he's like, well, I noticed you're not wearing your ring or whatever. And she's like, well, after I had our last baby, my finger got fat or whatever. So, he pulls out he was like, well, it's kind of weird that it's our 10th anniversary and you're not wearing your ring. So he pulls out her ring and he surprises her with, getting it fitted. Like, he got it fitted for her finger. So she starts crying. And, she feels like he remarried her all over again. So that was his surprise to her. And she was like, wow, see, that's how you know you got a good one, when you want to surprise him, but he turns around and he surprises you, which I think is adorable because most men don't do that. Most men don't, they don't really, dependent. They don't really think, But I mean, usually when the anniversary comes around, some men forget. Some men, like, their anniversary gift is not as good as the gift that you got them, or you expected something better. Like, it's a whole bunch of things that can happen, but they both like their gifts to each other, and I thought it was sweet. So, I guess she got the restaurant to play the song that she made for him, and I mean, the song was nice, but I feel like that was a performance she should have did when they were in the privacy of their own bedroom, their own house, because that song was whoa. Like, she was just talking about basically sex and him moaning louder, like, just all kind. And I'm like, I wouldn't have played this at no restaurant. That's embarrassing. But he liked the song, and he said he was speechless and embarrassed or whatever. So everybody that heard the song in the restaurant, they applauded, and then she said to them, well, it's our 10th year anniversary. They applauded even louder. So I thought that was cute. So we get to Deidre speaking to her Aunt Jonette on the phone about the fight. And again, she's still not owning her part in the fight or whatever. So, she's like, you can't put hood rats and city rats together. Like, you can't mix them. And I'm like, well, are you calling yourself a rat? Because, I mean, you sitting up here trying to insult the other girls, you're insulting yourself. So, dummy. So anyway, her aunt is just basically wanting her to keep the peace or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I think I'm going to reach out to Maya and apologize because I feel bad about how things went down. So, I mean, that's like the most mature thing that she's ever done. But still, to me, Deidre is just very immature and very childish. So anyway, we get to Beauty's party and Maya arrives. No, not Maya. Mushia arrives. And she threw shade a little bit talking about that Beauty has been doing hair for 61 years or whatever. And, to go back to LaKenya and Deidre talking, Deidre was basically like, if Beauty is having a 25th anniversary party for as long as she's been doing hair, she was like, you have to be at least 18 to be in beauty school. So 18 plus 25 is 43. So Beauty is just revealing that she's 43. And I'm like, so what? If she's 43, she looks good for her age. 1, 2. So what? 43 is not old. And even if she is 43 years old, Beauty looks good for her age. I wouldn't even guess that she's been doing hair for 25 years. Because she looks hella young. But anyway. So Maya arrives and she's making a plate. She didn't even go to Beauty and say, hey, how you doing? She went straight for the food. She was like, I'm hungry as hell. I'm going to give me some food. I'm like, yeah. But you should have said hi to Beauty first. But anyway. So, they're all, Beauty does a toast to success. And she wants success for everyone in the room, including herself. And LaKenya arrives or whatever. And, all of the ladies are there. So, they're wondering why Mushia is not drinking. Mushia is like, she's not drinking because the glasses keep breaking. So, then Maya confronts Beauty about the secret client. And Beauty apologized. And she, she felt upset. And she felt that it was, like, childish what she did. So she was like, I do want to work with you. I didn't mean for that to happen. We're good, moving along. So, when she found out that Mushia was the one that told Maya about the secret client or whatever, Beauty got upset because she feels like a little betrayed that Mushia even went and said anything to Maya. So, LaKenya and Mushia is discussing who's her mentor or whatever, and, LaKenya is just like, well, I do want to move up in business regardless of whatever is going on. Like, they're just discussing, having small talk or whatever. So, Beauty has a client that went to Mushia and was speaking to her about natural hair. Like, she's saying she wants to transition to natural hair or whatever. And Mushia is like, well, we do everything for natural hair. Extensions, braids, whatever you want to do, we do it. So then Beauty comes and she's like, oh, well, what are y'all discussing or whatever? Mushia is like, well, she wants to come over and do natural hair. And Beauty was like, well, she's a spoiled opulence client. So Mushia was like, well, I guess you can keep her or whatever because, you're not trying to share. So Beauty took this opportunity to confront Mushia about telling Maya about the secret client or whatever. And, LaKenya is watching them go back and forth. And she said that she's starting to see that Deidre is not the only drama starter in this group because they're getting into an argument and Deidre's not even there. So Mushia is like, well, I'm not about to argue with you about why I told Maya the truth or whatever. And she's like, don't get mad at me because I told her the truth when you should have been. She was like, don't get mad at me because I was being honest while you were being dishonest. She was like, why don't you go be honest with the person you were dishonest with instead of getting upset about it? And I mean, I have to agree. Like, okay, She told Mushia what she did. I mean, I don't know. Mushia is a very honest person. And, she felt like Beauty would have never have admitted to doing what she did to Maya. And I mean, I really don't know. Like the whole situation is really, really petty. And Beauty shouldn't have done it from the get-go. So, I mean, I don't really know if I can fault Mushia for telling Maya. And I don't really think that's betrayal. I just think that it needed to be said because it's like Mushia knew, and but I mean, I don't think they're that good of friends that Beauty should feel in her feelings. Like Beauty is very, very emotional, I see. So Mushia is like, well, I'm not about to argue with you. Maya is feeling like, Beauty is just attention star. Every time they're together, it's just always something with her. Like, it's always some type of drama. So Mushia was like, well, I'm not tripping. And Beauty is upset. So she's like, well, I'll speak to you when you get over it or whatever. So Lucia is basically like, this isn't your 25th anniversary party. This is a emotional roller coaster fest for you or whatever. And I agree. So they all left. Mushia, Maya, and LaKenya, they left. And they were just discussing the whole situation. So Beauty just feels like the ladies are against her now. And she's like, well, whatever. I can be successful by myself. I can do this, that, and the third by myself. I don't need y'all. So the ladies drive away. So that was the end of the episode. And I just gotta say, like, Beauty and Deidre are very, like, Beauty is very much all in her feelings, always wanting to argue with somebody. Deidre is just very much a bitch. Like, there's no other way to describe her. She's a bitch. And she thinks it's cool being a bitch. She thinks it's cool, like, okay, I can understand you're very, like, you have a guard up. Especially when it comes to making friends with women. You have a guard up. That's understandable, but damn, since season 1 to now, you just never admit when you're wrong. You say stuff that's dead wrong. You do stuff that's dead wrong, and you think it's okay. That's terrible. So, anyway, but Maya, Mushia, and LaKenya were my favorites this season. Well, they were my favorites this episode. Beauty just need to get out of her feelings because you were wrong. Point blank, period. That anger that you feel at Mushia for telling Maya what you were doing, you should take that, reevaluate it, and, well, not even reevaluate, evaluate it, and you should say to yourself, well, what I did was wrong. I didn't mean to do it. It like she said to Maya, it was childish. So for you to still be mad about it and mad that Mushia told her, it kind of seems like you're not mad at Mushia for telling her. You mad because Maya caught you and she confronted you about it. So just let it go. Be a little big girl and let it go. But anyway, that was the episode altogether in itself. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see you in the next video. Later. Thanks for watching.